Imagine standing in South Asia during the height of the British Empire. One by one, powerful kingdoms disappeared from the map. The British Empire expanded across the Indian subcontinent, taking control of vast territories through military victories, political alliances, and economic influence. By the middle of the 19th century, nearly all of present-day India, along with modern-day Pakistan and Bangladesh, had come under British rule. To many observers, it seemed as though no kingdom in the region could resist the world's most powerful empire. But high in the Himalayas, one small mountain nation remained different. Nepal, a country surrounded by giants, a country that was never fully colonized. How did this happen? How did a relatively small kingdom avoid the fate that changed so much of South Asia? Was it simply because of the towering Himalayan mountains? Was it the courage of its soldiers? Or was it the result of political decisions that changed history? The answer is far more complex than many people realize. Nepal's independence was not protected by a single battle. Strengthened by determined leadership, tested by war, preserved through difficult compromises. To understand why Nepal remained independent, we first need to go back more than 2 centuries, long before the British Empire reached its greatest power, at a time when Nepal itself was still becoming. In the 18th century, Nepal was not a country. Instead, it was divided into dozens of small kingdoms, each with its own expanded across the hills and valleys. Through military campaigns, strategic planning, and careful diplomacy, the Kingdom of Nepal slowly took shape. This process created a stronger state than had existed before, one capable of defending itself more effectively against outside threats. By the time the Unification campaigns were complete, Nepal had become an emerging regional power, but an even greater challenge was approaching. Greater financial resources, a much larger army, modern artillery, and experience gained from numerous military campaigns across the Indian subcontinent. Many British officials expected a quick victory, but Nepal proved to be a far more difficult opponent than they had imagined. The fighting took place across steep mountains, narrow valleys, dense forests, and rugged hills where large armies struggled to move. The difficult terrain reduced many of the advantages the British normally enjoyed. Nepalese commanders understood the mountains better than anyone. They used the landscape to slow enemy advances, protect key positions, and launch determined defensive operations. The soldiers who defended Nepal became known for their extraordinary discipline, determination, and courage. Many belonged to the Gorkha armies, whose reputation on the battlefield quickly spread among both allies and enemies. Several forts held out far longer than British commanders expected, even when heavily outnumbered. In many battles, Nepalese forces continued fighting despite limited supplies. Their resistance earned the respect of British officers. The war was long, demanding, and costly for both sides. Eventually, however, the British East India Company's greater resources began to shift the balance. After nearly 2 years of fighting, both sides recognized that continuing the conflict would become increasingly difficult. Negotiations began, leading to an agreement that would shape Nepal's future for generations. In 1816, both sides signed the Treaty of Sugauli. The agreement marked the end of the Anglo-Nepalese War. Nepal accepted the loss of several territories. Its borders became smaller than they had been before the conflict. the British East India Company gained control of important frontier regions. At first glance, it might seem that Britain had achieved complete victory, but one decision changed everything. Despite winning the war, the British did not annex Nepal. The kingdom remained independent. Why? Several reasons influenced that decision. The first was geography. Occupying Nepal would have been far more difficult than defeating its army. The Himalayas created enormous logistical challenges. Supplying large military forces across steep mountain terrain would have been expensive, slow, and extremely difficult to maintain. The second reason was strategy. British leaders realized that an independent Nepal could serve as a useful buffer state, positioned between British-controlled India and the powerful Qing Empire to the north. Instead of governing the mountains directly, it was often more practical to maintain friendly relations with an independent neighbor. The third reason came from the battlefield itself. The British had developed deep respect for Nepalese soldiers. Their courage, discipline, and fighting ability had impressed even experienced British commanders. Rather than treating them only as former enemies, the British began recruiting Gorkha soldiers into their own military forces. That tradition continues to this day. Over time, the relationship between Britain and Nepal gradually changed. From military rivals to strategic partners, Nepal remained sovereign while maintaining diplomatic relations with the British Empire. It was a rare outcome during an age when colonial expansion was transforming much of the world. Nepal's independence was never guaranteed. Throughout the 19th century, the British Empire continued expanding across Asia. Many powerful kingdoms disappeared. Others became colonies or protectorates. Yet Nepal remained politically independent. Its leaders understood that survival required more than military strength. It required careful diplomacy. Successive governments worked to maintain stable relations with British India, avoid unnecessary conflicts, and protect Nepal's sovereignty through cautious foreign policy. The country's geography continued to play an important role. The Himalayas remained a powerful natural barrier, making large-scale military operations difficult. But geography alone was never enough. Many mountainous regions around the world were eventually conquered. Nepal survived because natural defenses were matched by determined leadership, military resilience, and strategic political decisions. The courage displayed during the Anglo-Nepalese War became an important part of the nation's identity. The reputation of the Gorkhas spread around the world, earning international respect that continues even today. Modern Nepal is one of the few countries in South Asia that was never fully colonized by a European power. Its history reminds us that independence is rarely preserved by geography alone. It depends on preparation, leadership, adaptation, and the ability to make difficult decisions during moments of crisis. So why was Nepal never colonized? Because mountains slowed invasion. Strong resistance increased the cost of conquest. Diplomacy reduced future conflict, and British strategy ultimately favored partnership over occupation. Nepal's greatest victory may not have been winning every battle. It was preserving its independence in an era when much of the surrounding